Who is this actually good for? Who should skip it? And is it worth the price for a normal everyday buyer? If you've ever stood in front of a bar that runs out of ice mid-shift, or tried to keep a small catering operation stocked without ordering bags of frozen blocks, those are the moments that decide whether a commercial cube ice maker makes sense. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I spent a couple of weeks watching how the Scotsman Prodigy Elite behaves in a busy kitchen, reading the spec sheet, and scrolling through the handful of reviews that exist, just to see whether the hype lines up with real-world use. First off, the thing that sets the Prodigy Elite apart from a countertop freezer that you might be tempted to DIY is the combination of continuous production and the connectivity options built into the machine. It can crank out a steady stream of 5-pound batches of cube ice, and it talks to you via a small screen that flags when the bin is full, when the water filter needs swapping, and even sends an alert to a phone app if the temperature drifts out of range. For a bar that needs to keep glasses topped off all night, that kind of heads-up is a practical time saver. You won't have to guess whether the ice is still fresh or whether the machine is stuck, the unit tells you. Now, let's talk about the people who will actually get value from this. If you run a high-volume coffee shop that offers iced drinks from opening to closing, you'll appreciate the efficient operation claim because the machine doesn't gulp electricity the way a big freezer does. It uses a refrigeration cycle that's tuned for ice, so you'll see the power draw stay relatively low even when you're pulling a few pounds an hour. The durability of the stainless steel housing means you can lean the unit against a wall, wipe down the exterior, and not worry about dents or rust in a humid back-of-house environment. The simplified maintenance part is also true in practice. The water filter is a twist-in cartridge, and the bin slides out on rails so you can dump ice without fiddling with heavy doors. On the flip side, the Prodigy Elite isn't a magic solution for every small operation. Its footprint is roughly the size of a tall fridge, so a tiny pop-up stand or a home bar with limited counter space will struggle to find a spot. The machine also requires a dedicated 110-volt, 15-amp circuit. You can't just plug it into a standard kitchen outlet that's already feeding a microwave and a coffee grinder. If you're the type who only needs ice once a week for a family reunion, the upfront cost and the need for proper ventilation will feel like overkill. In my tests, the unit takes about 20 minutes to reach a full bin after a power down, which isn't a problem for a 24-hour establishment, but could be a nuisance for a weekend-only user. One of the hidden trade-offs shows up in the water usage. Because the machine constantly recirculates fresh water to keep the cubes clear, you'll see a steady drip from the inlet line. That's part of the advanced connectivity and efficient operation. Promise clean ice every time, but it does mean a small increase in your water bill. In a commercial setting, that's a drop in the bucket, but for a boutique coffee shop that's watching every utility cost, it's worth noting. Also, while the app notifications are handy, the software is a bit clunky. You have to scroll through a few menus to get to the filter replacement timer, and the phone alerts sometimes lag a minute or two behind the panel display. It's not a deal breaker, but it's something to keep in mind if you love a slick digital experience. Let's walk through a realistic day with the Prodigy Elite in a busy bar. The shift starts at 4 p.m., and the ice bin is already full from the night before. As the first round of cocktails rolls out, the machine is silently pulling a fresh batch in the background. By the time the first rush hits at 7 p.m., the bin is still full, and the staff never has to run back to the walk-in freezer for a bag of cubes. Around midnight, the bin indicator flashes amber, and the on-screen prompt tells the bartender to tip the bin into the service station. The bartender taps acknowledge on the app, and the machine continues making ice while the bin refills. No one has to pause service, and the ice stays crystal clear because it's never stored for more than a few hours. That flow is exactly the kind of operational efficiency the product advertises, and it holds up when the staff actually has to keep drinks moving. Contrast that with a weekend farmer's market stand that sells a few iced teas and lemonade. The owner plugs the unit into a portable generator, but the generator's output fluctuates, causing the ice maker to pause intermittently. The bin never reaches full capacity before the stand closes and the